China did a cyber attack on the U.S. How significant is the undermining of America by China right now?
Well, look, just look at our intelligence community's assessment that came out last year, at the end of last year, which specifically stated that the most persistent and active cyber threat we face in the world is from China. That's the entirety of the 17 organizations stood up to protect this nation, made that determination. So the FBI packages its program in response around that. And what China does is three things. They use the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, the MSS, the Ministry of State Security, their spy service, and their private sector to engage in a basically triad of cyber offensive warfare and attacks. And what did the FBI do in response? Last year alone, we focused specifically on actors such as Salt Typhoon and Volt Typhoon. What do? They go out there and they do large-scale espionage collection, and in the second half of it, what they do is they stand up enterprises within our critical infrastructure nodes, water, energy, communications, to do disruptions at a time of inconvenience for the United States of America. This FBI last year arrested over 200 cyber actors, and this year we're already up to 60. What we're doing most importantly than just the arrest, though, is the complete dismantlement of these enterprises. And we've already had over 50 complete dismantlements focused specifically on actors from China and elsewhere because they are the most active and persistent threat. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And we launched Operation Winter Shield, which was our 60-day campaign with direct engagement with the private sector, because what the Chinese do is they go into not just government systems, but private sector systems. And just ask the 5 biggest banks what the FBI did for them over a weekend last year, expelled an entire hacker parade on their networks that could have crippled our financial institution. We did that in one weekend. And so our ask to the private sector after our 600+ engagements in 60 days is let us in early. Call us often. We will show up with our cyber action team, our CAT team, expel these bad actors, and dismantle the networks. And then, yes, of course, we'll make more arrests and use the sanctions programs with our Treasury partners to make sure we don't do business with these folks. We identified just 3 in the last couple of months in China that private sector companies that partner with the MSS and PLA. And so that's an extensive operation, but we need our private sector partners' engagements, and that's what Operation Winter Shield was for. It actually had over 2 million impressions in the 60 days we launched it, and the private sector communities have been reaching out in large scale because they saw what we did with the banks, and they saw what we did with places like Stryker and elsewhere.